Okay, this is math board number 2. Which of the following is not equivalent to 1 over 81? Well, this has a -1 exponent, so we know we need to write that in the denominator and then change the exponent to a +1. Well, we can't leave the numerator empty, so it's going to be 1 over 81 to the first, which is 1 over 81. So that's okay. This is 9 to the -2, so we're going to have to write the reciprocal of that. We would get 1 over 9 squared, and 9 squared is 81, so that's 1 over 81. That's okay. 9 squared is simply 81. That's not going to work, so there is the answer. And then just to finish this one off, I have the same base, so I add the exponents. When I add the exponents, I'm going to have 9 to the -2. Oh, now it's like B. So it's 1 over 9 squared, which is 1 over 81. So the answer here is C. Number 2, which of the following is not equivalent to 16 divided by the square root of 16? Well, the square root of 16 is 4. So this is really 16 divided by 4, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So obviously this one is okay, but it's asking for which one is not the equivalent. Okay, 1 divided by the square root of 1. The square root of 1 is 1. So this is 1 over 1, which is 1. Obviously that's not 4. So there's our answer. Something that you don't know yet, or maybe you learned this in 7th grade, is that if you have an exponent that is a fraction, it is trying to tell you which root it is. So if the root is a 2, this is the root, then what that is saying is that this is 16. The top number is the exponent, so we've got 16 to the power of 1, and then it's telling us that the root is 2. In other words, the square root. So the top number of a fraction, if the exponent is a fraction, the top number tells us what the exponent is, and the bottom number in the fraction tells us what root it is. So since this is a 2, it means that this is the second root, in other words, the square root. Well, lo and behold, this is just like this, so obviously that's equivalent. And then on this one right here, it says 16 times 16 to the -1/2. So what we would do is, this is the same base. We can add the exponents, so 1 plus -1/2 would give me 16 to the 1/2, right? And then that becomes the square root, because the bottom number is a root, the square root of what? 16 to the power of 1. So the square root of 16 to the power of 1, this is just 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. So that is also equivalent. Number 3. What is 5/8 written as a decimal? Well, you know, they might ask you this on the M-Step and you don't have a calculator, so what would you do? So we take 5/8. That really means 5 divided by 8. Okay, how many times does 8 go into 5? No times. We're going to have to add a 0, so we're going to have to put up our decimal point. 8 into 50 will be 6 times. 2 left over, add another 0, that comes down. 8 into 20 is going to be, 2 times. That would be 16. And then 4, and add a 0, that's going to come down. 8 into 40 would be 5 times. So 5/8 is equivalent to 0.625, or 625 thousandths. You're looking to rent a dirt bike for a day. You're allowed to spend no more than $120. Okay, so the maximum you can spend is $120. Okay, so I can spend 120 or less. The rental places are requiring you to pay a flat rate of $60 and 80 cents for each mile you put on the bike. So how much we spend, money we spend, is equal to the flat rate of $60 and the 80 cents per mile. So plus 80 cents per mile. And I am letting X equal the number of miles. Okay, so I can spend $120 or less. So what I can spend versus how much I have, right? This has got to be smaller than this. It can also be equal. So really this is an inequality. What I can spend has to be less than or equal to how much I can spend total, 120. And what we can spend is represented by the expression, the flat rate of 60 plus another 80 cents per mile, where I'm saying X is the number of miles. So I'm going to have 60 plus 0.8X is less than or equal than 120. Now I'm solving for X. And then 60 divided by 0.8 is 75. So X can be less than or equal to 75. And the question is, what is the maximum number of miles you can drive without exceeding your constraint? So I can go up to 75 miles or less. So that would be A. Solve the following equation. So I know that I want to get all the variables on one side, so I'll subtract 1/10 X. I'm going to get 3/5 plus 3 minus 1 is going to be 2/10. X equals 4/5. Then I need to isolate the variable. So I will get 2/10. I'm going to go ahead and simplify that to 1/5. I'm going to get 1/5 X equals 1/5. Then divide both sides by 1/5. And I'm going to get X equals 1. X equals 1. And finally, what is true about the solution of the systems of equations by the following lines? So here are my lines. I see that they intersect in one point. I can go ahead and name that point. It is 3, 3. So the solution, there is one solution at 3, 3. Okay, the system of equations has no solution. Nope, they do intersect. The system of equations has one solution. No, that's true. The system of equation has 3 solutions? No, I don't think so. The system of equations has infinite? No, they're different lines. So obviously the answer was B. And there's that video.